talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Throwbacks in white have now become the main uniforms in black and green as well. 4-game green.
Your contracts will be higher in 5 years because the ratings will be through the roof, people. Listen to me. Play games at 7 o'clock. Get more ratings. Make more money. It's simple, but somehow they're imbeciles that make this playoff schedule. I can't figure it out.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He's like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
They're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, yeah, move on.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I'm Morency. Let's roll. Thanks to Joe Madden for joining us. We focused in on the NHL in the first hour of the program. We've touched on the NBA as well, but now I just turned back and I got my eye on the Lakers in a Denver Nugget game in which I need the Denver Nuggets to win this game. It's 45-39 right now for the Lakers. 4 minutes left in the second quarter. Total still 217.5. Denver minus 125 on the money line right now. So 47-39. Actually, a little bit of a bump here was with the points. But Denver were down. This is what they do. We see this in a regular season as well with the Nuggets. They're not a first half team. And in fact, I was kicking myself for not taking the Lakers in the first half of game one. Kind of figured, they'll come out strong, then fade. And here we go again right now. And speaking of coming out strong and fading, we obviously discussed the New York Islander game. George Kurtz has had about an hour to come to reality with the collapse of the New York Islanders blowing a 3-0 lead. What was amazing, George, was the fourth goal. That was the one. All right, they tied the game. It is what it is. They pulled their goalie. But before you can even announce the goal, the game-tying goal, they score again on just like a terrible goal. I mean, they flick it down the ice. They're behind the net. I don't know what the hell Varlamov was thinking or not thinking. He was just, lost. He was just everybody just sort of stood and watched the Hurricanes. Very, very bizarre. And that was the nail in the coffin.
Sort of reminded me of the Canucks game last night, right? Where the Vancouver scores 2 goals in 12 seconds, and it's all over but the crying there. Frustrating game. Listen, I'm not going to tell you they deserve to win because they didn't get their first shot on goal till 6 minutes left in the first period, and then they went 33 minutes without a shot on goal in this game. That's 47 minutes where you didn't get a shot. You got one shot on goal in 47 minutes. I really thought they deserved to win Saturday's game more here, but this is the Islanders in a nutshell. I was on In-Game Live with Sharapan and Ranieri, 8:30. They had just scored the third goal while I was on there. It was 3-0. But I'd said, they've blown this lead before. They have trouble holding leads here. I didn't think they would blow this lead. I thought that, I'm looking forward to Thursday. It's a 1-1. You're going back to Long Island, going back to UBS. We can make this a series here. We should have won game 1. We can make this a series. And then just to watch, Seth Jarvis goes, all right, you weren't going to get a shutout anyway. And then the power play goal to make it 3-2. Here we go. Here we go. You just knew it right then. You just knew it right then that they would blow this lead here. And then they scored 4-3. I didn't even see the empty net goal. It was 4-3. I just left the house, walked the dog. I needed to cool off because I was just not happy. It's just, I've seen this too many times, and it doesn't matter who the head coach is. Loire, Lambert, even Trotz had the same problem here. They just don't know how to close out games.
And how do you recover from a loss? Like, Gabe, hockey players are mentally tough, but the way they lost, like blowing a 3-goal lead, especially for a road game, could have tied it up. That's tough, man, for anybody. Like, you got to shake it off, but it's not going to be easy.
I think they can recover, Cam, because the building will be fired up and, they score the first goal in game 3. But I think you just fired Carolina up already now. Now, like, you got Carolina clicking on all cylinders, right? Now you've got their confidence high, their momentum, right? That's the problem. I think the Islanders will be able to bounce back and play their game, but the Canes are a damn good team, and, I guess the Dennis Green, George, you let them off the hook. One thing about the Islanders, too, is what I noticed, and I'm watching all these games at once tonight, but as you stated, they stop trying to score almost. Like, you get a lead, you need to keep playing, right? Like, they go into, let's just pass the puck around and try to kill time. It doesn't work, and it doesn't work in sports. Like, you need to finish teams off. I never understand that. It's like, guys, we're winning 3-0. We could be up 5-0 if we keep going the way we're going. Let's just keep playing the way we're playing. But teams go into these shells. That's why we always talk about that dreaded 2-0 lead in hockey, guys. You see it all the time. Teams blow the damn lead because they stop trying to score. It's
been going on for years. I just don't understand. It's years. Because it's the same players. So let you know what the problem is, right? The players just don't know how. It's not like every coach is touching the same system here, but they do go into prevent. They do stop trying to score. I know that's kind of a joke there. The Islanders stop trying to score. They don't know how to score anyway. I get that. But it's as an Islander fan, it's frustrating because we've seen this.
Yeah, they're trying to score, but you know what I mean? They're not aggressive about it. Like the defenseman back and forth. Like they'll dump it in, Cam. It's like you're not really trying to put the puck in the net,
They don't want to make a mistake. They don't want to make a mistake. And guess what? They are making mistakes by trying not to make a mistake, right? It's just, what's the best case scenario now? You split at home, so now you're 3-1 going back to Carolina for Game 5. I think it's what your best case scenario is here. The Dennis Green quote is perfect. The Islanders, at the very least, should have split these 2 games in Carolina and therefore have home ice advantage now. Instead, you choked both games. Anyway, you look at it, you choked up both games here. And it's disheartening. It's just completely disheartening. And listen, UBS is a beautiful arena, but it's not the Coliseum. It's not Fort Never Lose. It doesn't have that kind of vibe where the Islanders used to, for the most part, never lose there. I get it. It was mainly the 80s Islander teams. I get that. But it's just it's so disheartening. And if Carolina scores first on Thursday, I said, this may be all over but the crying.
NFL draft is on Thursday as well, and there's going to be an NFL draft special on Thursday night, so we're not going to be on. It's too bad, Cam, the Leafs game isn't Thursday for you.
Yeah, I know. I was just thinking, I go, you know what?
I'm realizing this too. I'm like, why the Canucks aren't in town now? Just my luck.
Yeah, just my luck. I'm actually going to go to another game. I can go to a playoff game. Game. And I'm like, I know. It's like, yeah, damn it. They're playing Wednesday. Sucks. Yeah, what are you going to do? Hey, I was proud of the way. Hey, I'll tell you, for Gabe, just watching the Leafs, I don't know what's going to happen in this series, but kind of like George's team, it was like the opposite tonight. I've seen this team fold like a cheap suit before, and so many bad things happened in that game, negative things, a goal disallowed, another goal they couldn't see with the camera, and just the way they went with it and stuck with it. And I told you, Domi and Bertuzzi would be important to this team, and they were a big part of the win tonight. And Matthews actually played his best playoff game in a long time, and that's what they need to do to win. It's pretty simple. Stars need to be stars.
Yeah, we've always talked about it. Everyone talks about the role players of the Leafs, but it's about their best players, actually, because the role players will do their thing. And I thought it was big for the Leafs. They showed some resiliency. They showed mental toughness, but I thought it was big for the Leafs that Austin Matthews is the one that scored, too, and the way that he scored. Boom, gets on a breakaway, bam, skilled play, beats the goalie easily, where it's like, yeah, I'm way better than you. You can't stop me. So now I think that could grow, and and he could start scoring here, get that playoff stuff off his back, the playoff failures in the past. Because it's one thing, you need, like you said, you need your best players to play well in these playoff series. And if you get Austin Matthews going, that's all the difference in the world. And honestly, too, the Leaf fans, that building, you got to bring it. They got to bring it on in Game 3 here. Like, you look at all these other buildings, like the Winnipeg building is crazy. Edmonton's loud. Vancouver was super loud last night, like deafening. It was loud. Like, people, it creates this like extra energy. The home team feeds off it, and the Leafs arguably they do. They have the least home ice advantage in the playoffs. Cam, this team, it's not an intimidating place. It's just casual. Teams go in there, and it's nice and easy for them.
They have fans. The problem is a lot of them with the Platinums, they go out there, they see the rich buddies.
All their fans are in the Maple Leaf Square outside in the park. Yeah. They have hardcore fans, but they don't have the $600 to get into the building.
Now, after winning a game, I don't know. Nosebleeds are going to be probably pretty expensive, but you're right, Morency. It's a shame that only the rich people can afford the tickets. It sucks. It really sucks.
The Canucks tickets were kind of expensive, but it was reasonable for the modern era. Like, the upper deck was like $300.
That's good.
So you could get in for like, $280, $300 type of deal. I paid $460 for my ticket, and I was behind the net in the 18th row for like $460.
That's a good deal.
Talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it, but the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Throwbacks in white have now become the main uniforms in black and green as well. 4-game green.
Your contracts will be higher in 5 years because the ratings will be through the roof, people. Listen to me. Play games at 7 o'clock. Get more ratings. Make more money. It's simple, but somehow they're imbeciles that make this playoff schedule. I can't figure it out.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He's like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
They're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, move on.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Let's roll. This is SportsRage. I am Morency. Somebody in the chat said they wanted to get our take, Cam, on Greg Norman. Talking about Scotty Scheffler, but I did not see what he said about Scotty Scheffler.
I did not either. I know the tournament ended today because of rain, but what did Greg Norman say?
I don't know.
What? I choked in multiple majors. I gave Nick Faldo the Masters. Scotty Scheffler is better than me. He's clutch. I wasn't. If he said anything negative about Scotty Scheffler, Greg Norman should be literally hey, dude, shut up. Go worry about Liv. Better be
Nelly
something
Korda
nice.
won too, eh?
Yes, he did. I bet. Good call, Morency. I wanted more, but I'm going to stick with Korda. You know what Carver hit? They had a 30-1 Scheffler Korda parlay. That guy Keith Stewart gave it to him, his other golf guest. I'm like, I wish K Stu gave C Stu that one, but didn't have it.
Yeah,
Carver
I thought about that after. I'm like, God, we're idiots. How the hell do we not just bet
I know.
Scheffler and Korda? Like they're winning every week.
I know. Parlaying them. I'm an idiot. Greg Norman. What's he got to say?
No, I don't see any comments. I don't know. I don't see anything popping up. I'm on a golf thing. I do see Scheffler's made $16.3 million since March, though.
Yep. Not bad. Wife's going to go into labor. Not playing next week at the Zurich, which is a team event. Take some time off. Hey, good for him. He deserved it. Guy
he might win the Grand Slam this year. Not Gabe, out of the question.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm thinking, what's his weak link?
It's hard to do.
It's almost impossible. But the thing is, he can play an British Open. He's got a low ball flight too. But being from Texas, there's nothing he can't do. There's nothing he can't do. Nothing would surprise me.
I'd say the U.S. Open is the tough one, right?
I would say the PGA Championship because it's one of those
That's
ones
the random one.
Yes, it's so random. That one's just like a random event, and he's more that would be the toughest one, I think. As crazy as that sounds, but
yeah, you're right. He's going to win the U.S. Open. He'll wear everyone out.
Yeah, yes, that's what he
Sure,
does.
he doesn't make mistakes. The U.S. Opens are always tough, right? So everyone else
pars
mistakes.
are good. Correct.
Yeah, that's his whole thing. All right, George Kurtz with us. So 4-2, Kurtz. I'm on Dallas. I'm going down here. Not looking good. Who are you on in this one?
Same thing. I'm on Dallas as well. I mean, you got to hand it to Vegas, right? I mean, if all these guys are coming back and, Hurdle, Stone came back. That Stone scored a power play goal. Peter Angelo's back. I thought they'd had some chemistry problems early on in the series. So this is a little bit of a surprise to me that they're playing this well. Good for them. But I was on Dallas.
Dallas are pressing right now, but they're down 4-2, 6 minutes left here. 2-0, guys, after the first period of play in Edmonton. The Oilers did what they had to do, take the pressure off. As I was talking about earlier, take the pressure off. Edmonton also have had postseason disappointments over the years. Oftentimes, the Oilers are not very good in game ones as well, right? They're always playing uphill. It's always, we'll be better in the next game. We better win the next game. Like, similar to the Leafs. I like what the Oilers did tonight. Come out, get that lead, get the fans into it, get the positivity going in the arena, and keep this thing rolling. They're not done yet. They're not. There's still a lot of hockey left. The Kings didn't play very well, George, in the first period of play here. What do you think happens now? The in-game total is 6.5, guys. The Oilers are minus 2.5. And they're minus 900 on the money line. So I'm thinking about the total. I don't think we're going to get to 7 personally. What do you think, George?
I don't either.
Yeah, I'm with you guys as well. I think it will come close, but I don't like the way the Kings have played lately. And by lately I mean really a couple of months now. I don't trust their goaltending either. Rittich or Talbot there. I just don't think they're the team we thought they were going to be coming into the season. Certainly not the team they were in October and November when they weren't losing any of those road games, right? They were playing great here. I think the Oilers are the better team here, and I picked the Oilers I think in 6 here. But I'm starting to wonder they're just going to run right through this team. This is one sort of like the Rangers Washington series. This is just a stepping stone to them to get to the real when the playoffs really start for them next round here. So I like the Oilers a whole bunch in this series.
The thing is, the Oilers learned how to beat the Kings too, Gabe. Like the Kings try to play their bully hockey and stuff. They're too slow. You can't keep up with Edmonton. Edmonton's fast. Hyman, all the guys that they have on their team. It's all about if Skinner just plays average hockey and doesn't let in crap goals. The Oilers, I could see them winning this game like 4-1 tonight, 5-1. Like the Oilers are a very good hockey team.
No, the Oilers are dangerous. And as well, guys, also, who's the big problem? Like, who's the team that gives the Oilers a problem? Vegas. Vegas' size, they slow Edmonton. They do slow Edmonton down a bit and get in their way. They don't have to play Vegas.
Nope.
Right? Like Edmonton gets the winner of Nashville and Vancouver. Like similar situation. If you're Vancouver, and I know Edmonton are really, really good, but for the record, Vancouver beat them all 4 times they played this year.
Yeah.
Right? Similar to Nashville. We can say, well, it's a regular season, doesn't matter. Well, I don't know, they just beat them again. So imagine that, George. If you're the Edmonton Oilers, guys, you don't have to deal with Colorado. You don't have to deal with Dallas right now. You don't have to deal with Vegas. Like, you would only have to deal with them in the semifinals. Right? You play the LA Kings, and then you play the winner of the Vancouver Canucks or Nashville Predators. And if I'm the Canucks, I like this as well. We beat the Predators, and hey, we play the Edmonton Oilers, a team that we've beaten all 4 times this year.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I think I read it the same way as you. Nobody wants to play Vegas, right? Especially if Vegas. I have Dallas in this series. I really thought Dallas would win this series here. And if they don't, I think Vegas only gets better. I think they only get better as they move on here because that chemistry will come into play here. I said, Peter Angelo hasn't played in a couple of weeks. Stone a couple of months. Hurdle's played barely a couple of games with the team here. They'll get more chemistry, more used to each other as the playoffs roll on here. I am going to like the Golden Knights a whole bunch as we move on here. I picked Dallas to win the series. All right, I thought Dallas was the best team in the NHL here. I was shocked when I looked at 2-0 Vegas. What the hell's going on here? I had Dallas in game 1. I thought Dallas would win game 1. I don't want to say fairly easily, but more in a comfortable fashion here. But good for Vegas. Maybe we discounted them too much. They went Thompson and net too, rather than Hill. That was another surprise.
Yeah.
Problem with Dallas is they're not as good defensively as the reputation is.
Hey, good call, Morency. And Ottinger's not as slick as people think. He had that beautiful series against Calgary. He's not playing great hockey. We talked about it all year. He's not the same guy.
A lot of hockey left. Let's not bury Dallas.
No. We're just saying. Yeah.
Although, teams from Dallas, George, in playoff games. Sorry.
Talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it, but the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Throwbacks in white have now become the main uniforms in black and green as well. 4-game green.
Your contracts will be higher in 5 years because the ratings will be through the roof, people. Listen to me. Play games at 7 o'clock. Get more ratings. Make more money. It's simple, but somehow they're imbeciles that make this playoff schedule. I can't figure it out.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at 3/4 golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He's like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
They're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, move on.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Let's roll. This is SportsRage. I am Morency. I'm going to check the ticket prices. Let's see what they are actually from city to city to see what it costs to get in. We've got a dude in our chat, Chris, who says he's going to the Rangers game tomorrow. $400 and food included. It's
Ooh,
actually
I like
a
that.
pretty good deal. I'm surprised it's not a little bit more. Seems like I don't know. I think all these NHL teams are doing it because the Canucks are selling tickets like that too. It's $600. Remember, I talked about it last week. It's $600, all you can eat, and they have a carving station. They have a carving station. I guess they have some fancy sushi chef or something like that up there.
Sure.
And then the standard sort of
I'm going to that game.
Arena
I'm not
fare.
eating anything.
You know what? Like I said, my ticket was $465. I didn't get any food, right?
Yeah, go to the carving station, man. That's where it's at, Morency. That's a
you know
good
why
one.
I didn't do
Quality
it?
cut.
I thought about it. I didn't get the ticket because it's up at the top.
I see.
Okay.
It's basically a box, like here. You know what I mean? You're in it's like a row of seats, but it's buried up there with the luxury suite. So it's like a poor man's luxury suite. Like you're sharing it with other people type of thing that you don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know?
just want to take the carving station and get back to your seat instead of having to stay in that area.
Yeah, I don't want to be way up at the top.
I agree.
Even though it's a good view in hockey. That's
Yeah.
where the announcers are. You see, it's a good view at the top when you look
the tickets
down.
that you bought, me and George, we were high up, but they were great because we get to see the play develop. Like we were way up there, but it was fun, man. Hey, George?
Yeah,
You're
hockey.
High,
Hockey is meant to be high, actually.
Right, it is.
You're right.
You get to see the whole ice, see the play. So there
You
are
saw
no
the
beds.
ice.
Like, put it this way, like scouts, when
That's
they
where they
watch
sit.
players, they sit up high
Yep.
because they can see the play develop, right? They can see everything. I just like to be close down to the action, though. You know what I mean? When I'm going to a game like that. I don't mind. I sit in different spots, but I figured that was the spot I sat. That was the spot I sat in last night. All right, so it's a 4-2. Under a minute remaining right now in the second period of play. So the game has slowed down a little bit. Dallas aren't out of this game yet. They need to score the next goal, like point blank.
Yep.
They need to score the next goal, make it 4-3, and, they're back in it. But Vegas are doing their Vegas playoff thing in which they raise it up a notch, and they look pretty good. We played the under 6.5. I had to lay some juice to do it, -170. In the Edmonton game, guys, we played 5 minutes of the second period. Still 2-0 right now.
I love that under.
Oh, God. It's why every time I talk about something happens.
Breakaway. He had a breakaway. He didn't score.
Like every time, I'm like, oh, no, they happen.
What happened? Who scored?
Nothing. No,
They didn't score.
Somebody on the Kings had a breakaway, but he didn't score.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
good.
and now they just did.
Oh,
Edmonton.
Skinner!
Edmonton. Edmonton just
Oh, okay, good. We'll take Edmonton.
Zach Hyman, this my anytime goal scorer. Thank you, buddy.
Hyman. Hyman's my guy, George. Oh, George, he got me the first goal anytime goal. More Hyman.
He got the
please.
early one, George.
Yeah, he got the first
I didn't
goal.
know. It was, I was coming on. I was out with the dog. I haven't checked. I didn't check. I was out with the dog. I was angry. I wasn't checking anything.
Tell your dog to tell you it's all about Hyman, buddy. The guy's amazing.
Hyman and Matthews have made me so much money on anytime goals this year. I mean, every time I thought when I played my chalk games where Toronto was going to beat somebody and I wanted to get the price down, play a parlay with a Matthews goal. Same thing with Edmonton and Hyman.
Hyman was still on the
I should get those
game.
jerseys.
Be pretty good. That guy's a goal-scoring machine. He's good.
It really is. He just smacked it in from the slot. 3-0, 15 minutes left. As soon as I talk about it, there's a goal. Right away. It's uncanny. The in-game total is 6.5 still right now. All right, it's -130. It's actually pretty good. That it's almost not bad. This kind of buries the Kings a little bit here.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
You know what I mean? Like you might even
more chances, more 2-on-1s,
I like the under.
3-on-2s.
Yeah,
but Georgia might even just eliminate the empty netter later if it's like 4-0 or something.
True.
And
You know what I mean? Like just sort of break their will and say, all right, we'll be back game 2. You know?
I'm thinking 5-1.
Let's hope. So we're on the Oilers. We just hit because they're up by 3 now, so we get paid for that.
Oh, yeah. So now it's all about the Stars. We need to be able to be in a hedge situation. Come on, Dallas. Figure this out. This is a huge parlay. And we need this game to get close, Gabe.
And the Denver Nuggets are really not helping me. I need the Nuggets to win it.
Yeah.
They're at
Nuggets.
the half. We're going to get back into that. So we got the NFL draft on Thursday night, guys, where all this playoff stuff. I've got a few bets in. already, but I want to put a couple of more in, obviously. We'll take a look at the updated market.
Talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it, but the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Throwbacks in white have now become the main uniforms in black and green as well. 4-game green.
Your contracts will be higher in 5 years because the ratings will be through the roof, people. Listen to me. Play games at 7 o'clock. Get more ratings. Make more money. It's simple, but somehow they're imbeciles that make this playoff schedule. I can't figure it out.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He's like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
They're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, yeah, move on.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Well, this is a disaster. The Lakers, can't believe I took the Lakers in game one and I take the Nuggets in game two. God, I'm an idiot. I hate the zigzag and being wrong both times. There's nothing worse. 68-48 right now, man. They've exploded out of the second half here. They've already scored 9 points in 2 minutes. The in-game total is 218.5. That's what I'm bailing out on, Cam, right now. I didn't play the total. I'm playing the total now. I'm going over 218.5 to get back my Denver monies.
Monies, yeah. I'm thinking about my Dallas Star monies. I don't know. So we got the first 3 legs down. Hey, George, because I took the Islanders on the money line and they were up 3, so it got graded as a win with the Leafs and now Edmonton. So those are 3. It's just Dallas now. But the thing is, Gabe, at that price, we got to get 1 goal down. I'm even willing to give a little bit back to take some. So we need just to get this game closer. Yeah, there should be points in that game. They're not going to go down without a fight. So yeah, maybe the over is the way to go.
No, Lakers already have 68 points, right? So
yeah, that's a lot of points.
There's been a lot of points. So 3-0 in a hockey game. We're at the intermission in the other one. I'm watching the Edmonton game right now, but you know what? I'm going to go to the basketball game.
Okay, I'm on
what
the
do you
Stars
have?
Game. Perfect. See, now we're doing.
That's an intermission, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't care. It's fun because then you're always ahead of me. So now I'd rather just kind of be on a different channel. It makes me feel good. We're doing it all. It's like Georgia's Sports Room. Different games.
Yeah. I'll keep my eye on the basketball here. Laker game. So we just went over 218.5, 68-48. So it's the NFL draft coming up, guys. And last week, another bad number I got. So I bet, I played a parlay thing. At least I hit the first end of it. The Dodgers were losing 2-0 in a game last week, and I took them plus 3.5 in the game with Jaden Daniels to be the second pick in the NFL draft. And when I did it, he was minus 300 in a lot of spots. I got him at minus 250 at the time, I think. And then literally a couple hours later, or the next morning, boom, it plummeted all the way to minus 130. And I told people, if you guys remember last week, the viewers and listeners, I said, I don't care. I'm not scared off because of whatever this and that. And I really didn't understand why. And why it did drop. If you guys, for people tuning in, you don't know the story. Jaden Daniels kind of thought that he's going to Washington. All right. Like Dan Quinn even met him at the airport. And like, you know what I mean? They've been whining and dining him and they've been pretty nice to him. And so they told him last week to come back again. He got upset. He didn't know. And I don't understand why they would do this. They had the other 3 guys there, guys. They interviewed them together. Like Drake May was sitting next to Jaden Daniels and J.J. McCarthy. It was almost like The Apprentice. Like, tell us why you should be the quarterback. And supposedly it rubbed everybody really wrong.
Oh, I don't like
basically,
that.
like Jaden Daniels said, I thought, I don't even want to play for you guys anymore. Drake May supposedly doesn't want to play for them, point blank. Like, has put it out there. I don't want to play for these guys.
So who does?
Word is they're going to take Jaden Daniels, whether he likes it or not. That's what I think. I wasn't.
Anybody? I mean, it doesn't matter what these guys think.
He's minus 330 right now. No, that's the whole thing, George. It's just because a kid, whatever. They're going to take Daniels. He's good. They're taking him. And Daniels, you're going to have to get over it, bro. Like, this is the NFL, kid. Like, they met other people. They shouldn't have done it at the same time. I get it. Like, it was awkward that you walked in and J.J. McCarthy sitting there and stuff. Like, but that is awkward.
It's weird. It's a screw up. It's a PR screw up. You should have done it, or you should have been honest about it. Maybe they didn't realize that they didn't know. I don't know. It's Washington. This is not the first time they screwed things up. It's maybe the first time with the new ownership they've done this. It's weird, but I think Daniels is going number 2 as well. If you connect all the dots, that's where it makes the most sense and why Kingsbury was brought in because they knew Willie was going 1, Daniels would go 2. Number 3, I still think it's Drake May, but I still want the Patriots trade out of that.
Drake May is minus 180 to be the 3rd pick. Jaden Daniels is plus 300 to be the 3rd pick. J.J. McCarthy's plus 400.
Huh.
I think it's going to be J.J. McCarthy.
I wonder if the Patriots just feel like they're not a quarterback away. And if they don't love McCarthy or May, we'll assume Daniels goes too. But if they don't love these guys,
they're not a quarterback away, George. They're not.
But then I wonder if they trade down and try and get those 2 number 1 picks from Minnesota and another number 1 next year. Try and really go after that and go out there try to fill up the wide receiver spot, the defensive spots they need, offensive line they need here. My only issue with that is, well, you still need a freaking quarterback. And from what I hear, next year is not a great quarterback class. So you're still going to have this problem next year, but I wonder if the Patriots trade down because they're not in love.
That's the whole
with
thing, George. Like, that's what I say. Everyone will trade down. Well, other teams have to agree to your trade down. Like, that's
exactly.
People come up with
good point, Cam. Good point, Cam. Cam's right. Dude, we're basically 48 hours away, 72 hours away from the draft. Nobody's traded up yet, like Cam said. I've heard the same thing. Vikings are putting it out there. We're not going to get fleeced. We like the quarterbacks. We're not getting ripped off.
It's not so much that. Remember, I think, once again, let's just say for giggles that the Vikings want to trade up. They want to know what quarterback is there. They may want one quarterback more than the other. Maybe they really want Daniels and not May. And they won't make
I think they want May.
If Daniels is not there. I think they want May.
I think they want May.
I think they have a team to watch to trade up to number 3. Or we know Harbaugh wants out of 5. He's pretty much told everybody he wants out of 5. But he's also told everybody he wants more than what the chart says. So he wants.
Yeah, but it's like a poker game. It's like a bluff, like Cam said. If I'm the Vikings, I know I'm like, you're not taking a quarterback. Yeah. So I don't have to worry about this at 4 with Arizona. I don't have to worry about it at 5. And then, so what do you guys make of this? I'll ask you, George. What do you think of Zach Wilson? So the Denver Broncos trade for Zach Wilson.
I'm going to take a different take.
And that's a message, Cam. No, that's a message that they're telling teams, like you just said, we're not getting fleeced. You all think we're trading up? We just got the former 2nd-round pick in the draft or 3rd pick in the draft for nothing, right? Denver might play Zach Wilson for real, guys, and not even draft a quarterback now.
Zach Wilson is closer to BYU. It was a disaster in New York. The coach threw him under the bus. Listen, I'm not going to say he's a perfect quarterback, and me and Gabe predicted him. He was too raw, and he made some mistakes. But listen, Give him a chance. He's still a kid. He's a great athlete who can run, and under the right system, he could be better. That's the thing that people don't understand. People can improve. They can get better. He's a young guy. Denver had no risk in this situation whatsoever.
Sean Payton clearly saw something in him.
I know, and I see something in him too, and I get laughed at when I come on shows. I think this guy is not as bad as people think. He's a very good athlete.
He beat the Bills last year.
I'm just saying.
He also beat the Eagles. He beat the Bills. They covered against the Chiefs.
He looks like he has potential. It's not consistent, but he's a kid. He's a kid.
No, I agree. New York was the worst spot for him. He was mentally, he was immature. It was just the perfect storm against him. Everything was wrong. Getting a second chance with Denver, I think is a good fit, guys. I agree with Cam, George. I think it's a good fit for him. And we'll see if Sean Payton can bring this kid's talent out, because he's got the physical ability. So just put him in a good offense, let him do his thing. But I'm just stating, they might look at this and go, look at Cam, I'm saying, when they got Zach Wilson, to me that says, you know what? We think Zach Wilson's better than Bo Nix. We're not taking Bo Nix. We think this kid's better than he is. Right? You have to sort of equate. Is the people or the players now, is this guy better than the guy that we're going to be able to draft? And if you ask me who's better, Bo Nix or Zach Wilson, I'd take Zach Wilson over Bo Nix personally. There's more upside.
I don't know exactly.
By the way, it's 4-0 Oilers.
But I'm going to say this, Morency, your bet with McCarthy, what'd you get him at? Plus 400 in the 3-hole? It might not happen, but it's well worth doing. Because who knows what the hell's going to happen.
He's plus 400 right now.
You know what? I like that value big time. Because who knows what's going to happen, and May might drop.
Supposedly the Patriots do like McCarthy the most out of these other guys. They like the Michigan thing, too.
Talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Throwbacks in white have now become the main uniforms in black and green as well. 4-game green.
Your contracts will be higher in 5 years because the ratings will be through the roof, people. Listen to me. Play games at 7 o'clock. Get more ratings. Make more money. It's simple, but somehow they're imbeciles that make this playoff schedule. I can't figure it out.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He's like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
They're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, move on.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
$74-57 right now. The Lakers are up. There's 6.5 left in the third quarter of play. Make it 74-57. They just changed the score. Good job on the ticker. They literally changed the scores. I'm talking about it. 74-57. In-game totals 260. Yeah, they put up 60 and then they took it off.
Of course they did.
216.5 is the total. We bet over 218.5. It's 216.5 right now. All right, so as far as the NFL draft is concerned, the third pick is up in the air. You know, would it shock me if the Patriots took Drake May? My deal with J.J. McCarthy, and I'm a big J.J. McCarthy fan, but this is the worst spot for him to end up. They're not. They don't have any talent. They're not a quarterback away. They play in a tough division. And quite frankly, what'll be different? Like, if you drop J.J. McCarthy in there, he'll just be like Mac Jones. You know what I mean? He's running for his life. Like, he's better than Mac Jones, but...
Way better.
No, I know, Cam, but I'm just stating that JJ's the type of guy that is better with talent around him. And, you know what I mean? He's not like, okay, we're going to draft JJ and then we'll start drafting pieces around. No, you want to add him. Like, JJ would be perfect on the Vikings, right? That's where, but everybody be perfect on the Vikings. All these quarterbacks want to end up on the Vikings. Like, Michael Penix wants to be a Viking. Bo Nix wants to be, they all want to be a Viking because of O'Connell. But the thing is, McCown is the quarterback coach there. And he was Drake May's high school coach. So there's the connection there, right? So that's why everybody believes that the Vikings will be the ones. But I think the Vikings think that the Patriots are taking J.J. McCarthy. So that's why I don't think they're going to trade up. But I know the Patriots went public and said, yeah, we're open to trading the picks. They openly said, we have a lot of holes, right? He said, we have a lot of holes. We know this. We're open to trading and stockpiling picks, which shows me that they're almost desperate now. That we're 72 hours away, and they're surprised, actually, how little their phone has rang for this, I think. And Michael Penix is a wild card, too, guys. He's pretty good. There's a few, I think that Penix is a sleeper in the sense that some people thought that he would be the one to fall, maybe, or maybe he was a second rounder. Mel Kiper's got him as a second rounder. As of now, he's got him going like 37th, I think, to the Raiders in the second round. I don't buy that, guys. I think Penix is going to be, Penix doesn't get past that quarterback row, that 11, 12, 13 stuff, guys. I think Penix goes there. I think Penix can end up on the Raiders, actually. If I had to say, I'd say Penix is a Raider.
Penix was honest. He wrote the GM's letters about his injury history. Let's call it out for what it is. He showed up in big games. He made throws. He did a lot of things. I know he's a little bit unorthodox, but what do you want from this guy? Like, he's very like he's a gamer. Like, he's a guy that I think you would want on your team. And I like Penix. I think he deserves a chance. I know he's a lefty. It's one of those things you talk about, but I'm down with Penix. I really think, and he's older and mature. I know that could be a detriment and a positive with his brain.
What's
being
good about
a little
him?
more mature. Yes.
Yeah, but also why his stock is risen. Like you said, he throws lasers. So it's unorthodox. Some people don't like his footwork. They don't like his mechanics, the left-handed stuff. But, and also he's not the most mobile guy. But, man, like I saw Greg Cosell, who we've had on before, and he's one of the best in the business at analyzing players. And I saw I've been watching a lot of his stuff with the draft coming up, and he said Penix throws the best NFL ball out of all the quarterbacks. Like his release, like the actual ball itself, he throws NFL caliber footballs. And so you drop him in with some good wide, man, you put Penix on the Vikings, man, you'll be throwing bombs, man, to Jefferson, right? Like Penix has a cannon. He's more of an intermediate guy, though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he can throw bombs, but he's got big velocity on the ball. But the whole thing with him is he's a football junkie. So he's really smart. Like, people, they were really impressed. I don't know if you guys saw. I talked about it. I retweeted the video. It's pretty crazy. Like, at his house, he had the plays all over the walls. He would write the week's plays on his mirror in his bathroom.
I like that.
And so every time he went to the bathroom, he shaved, whatever, he saw the playbook. He had the playbook written all over his house. And NFL teams do this drill stuff, right, when they meet you, right? I guess he's knocking it out of the park. They're like, what's this defensive scheme? What do you do with this? Where, you know what I mean? Like, they ask you that stuff. Like, they'll show you tape and go, where would you throw the ball here? What do you see? Where would you go? What do you think is happening here? And he's just like knocking it out of the park, like, boom. Oh, that's this. This is that. I go here. Secondary receiver route, boom. Like, he's got it down. Remember Gruden used to do that quarterback stuff, right? And remember he had Cam Newton on, and he did that with Cam Newton, and Cam Newton could not do anything. Cam Newton said to him, he said this, he goes, so what system did you run at Auburn? And he goes, to throw to the open man.
And remember Gruden on Monday Night Football? I love every quarterback. I love everybody. It doesn't matter who you are.
But Cam Newton admitted, though. Cam Newton admitted. He goes, I just went left to right, man. He goes, I dropped back, tuck, 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 and like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's the way
Cam Newton turned out to be pretty good in the NFL. So, like, the football junkie stuff, like, is hit or miss, too. But I do think Penix is good. Now, I've been talking a lot about Brock Bowers, and Brent Beard's been covering the SEC for a long time, like 25 years type of deal. And he says that Brock Bowers is one of the best players that he's ever seen in the SEC. And I've said this as well, that I get taking Marvin Harrison with the 4th pick overall. If I was the Chargers, I would have to think long and hard about adding Brock Bowers with Justin Herbert. Although I don't think Harbaugh does it. I think Harbaugh is going to go an offensive lineman, Joe Alt. Harbaugh knows he's got to build a foundation, so I don't think he's going to go right for a tight end. Harbaugh will take one of these Big Ten tight ends in like the 3rd or 4th round or something. But Brock Bowers to Tennessee makes a lot of sense. But in a sense, though, does it? Or do they go defense, guys? If you look at the Tennessee Titans, they've had a nice offseason. Calvin Ridley's a good wide receiver. They got your boy Pollard, George.
Yep.
You still have DeAndre Hopkins.
George. Okay.
George is sour.
There's nothing you can say about any of my teams is going to make me put a smile on my face today, all right? It is just,
No, I'm just saying, did Tennessee go defense, though, with that 7th pick? Because if
I don't know,
Brock Bowers would be a good pick.
He's special.
Talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it, but the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Throwbacks in white have now become the main uniforms in black and green as well. 4-game green.
Your contracts will be higher in 5 years because the ratings will be through the roof, people. Listen to me. Play games at 7 o'clock. Get more ratings. Make more money. It's simple, but somehow they're imbeciles that make this playoff schedule. I can't figure it out.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at 3/4 golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He's like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
They're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, move on.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
The Monday Night Meltdown continues. 4-2 for the Vegas Golden Knights over the Dallas Stars still right now, guys. And, Vegas only have 14 shots on goal in this hockey game. They only had 13. They just got their 14th shot right now. But the Dallas Stars can't get anything going offensively, so they're losing 4-2 right now. The Kings had a goal disallowed. It's 4-1 with 6 minutes left in the second period of play. The in-game total is now 7.5, unfortunately. We're on the under 6.5. And here come the Nuggets. They're not all the way back right now, but they've cut it to 10 now. 79-69 is their thing. The Lakers are starting to hit a wall, but unfortunately now the total has slowed down as well. It's 209.5 now. Man, it's just going back and forth here tonight. I'm getting a little bit frustrated by this. But as far as the draft is concerned, guys, I see a pretty good number here. Brock Bowers to be a top 10 pick, plus 120. I think that's a good bet. Because, like we said, Tennessee could take maybe somebody else surprises us. Maybe the Giants take them. You know what I mean? Maybe somebody surprises us and takes them. Because I agree with you, Cam. I've been talking about him. He's as good as Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison. Like, he's just a straight stud that he's going to catch like 8 balls a game, 10 balls a game. He's really, he's a star. I mean, the guy's going to be whatever team he's on. This quarterback's going to love throwing to this dude. And it's no secret that Jets have really wanted and have their eye on him as well. They've got the 10th pick, so I think he will be a top 10 pick, guys. What do you think, George? Plus 120, Brock Bowers, top 10 pick.
You just said it. Even if everything went wrong, where the Chargers do take an offensive lineman, the Giants take a wide receiver, Tennessee trades for the team wanting a quarterback, Atlanta does the same thing. He's not getting past the Jets. They're in love with him here. In love with. That's all they're talking about is how that the Jets should have never let him leave, like they could sign him there. The Jets won't let him get past 10. He'll be a Jet. The Jets have to load up. They're going for it this year because they know they don't have Aaron Rodgers forever.
Yep.
I
think
plus 120.
Game. Great bet. Him and Rodgers, he always complains about young receivers too. The difference is Bowers, great hands. He knows how to run perfect routes. He's one of these guys, he just does it all, man. We watch this guy. He's a special talent. No, there's no way he gets past 10. If you did that, these teams made a big mistake, in my opinion.
No, perfect fit for the Jets at plus 120. I played over-under offensive linemen in the first round, under 9.5. I don't think 10 is a lot. And we got plus 160 for that. Let me see what it is now. Offensive lineman drafted first round, updated odds. Same odds, guys. You can still get in on that. Over 9.5 offensive linemen drafted in the first round is minus 200. Under 9.5 is plus 160. I go through all this stuff, and there seems to be 8. Maybe we'll get to 9, not 10. I don't see where the 10th one comes from here, guys. At plus 160, too. Anytime you're getting plus money on something, it's not a bad deal in the draft.
Don't you need
I'm with you there. I don't think we get the 10 either. And like you said with these, they're all plus money. These bets, most of these bets that we're making, you can miss on 1 or 2 and still make money. I don't expect to hit every one, but I don't think there's going to be 10 offensive linemen taken either here.
It's a lot.
No, when you consider all the quarterbacks going to be in the first round as well. There's not room.
6 wide receivers, that's 11. Bowers is just 12 all by itself. You tell me there's only going to be 10 defensive players taken? I have a hard time believing that. And we're not even talking about others that can be taken.
The record is 19. That's the all-time record. It's happened 3 times before. 19 offensive players taken in the first round.
I think we might break that.
I'm looking here right now. I want to get, there's a prop up over under how many offensive players. Here we go. Offensive players taken in the first round. It's 20.5 right now, minus 220 to the over.
That's wild.
It's 9 offensive linemen. That's 9. 6 wide receivers is 15. 5 quarterbacks is 20. Bowers is 21. That's what they're going by.
Yeah. And in fact, some books have 21.5 even. Wow. Like at more reasonable price.
So this is 20. 6, right? There'll be no running backs taken in the first round, so you'll need that offensive lineman or 6 quarterbacks or 7 wide. You got to go 1 higher, and I don't know where that one would be.
They're expecting a late push on wide receivers, right? Late in the first round this year. Like that sort of bing, 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 boom, like that 27, 28, 29, all these good teams getting wide receivers.
I can see a team trading in Raiders at 37 wanting the first round quarterback because you get the extra year to get that 6th quarterback in round 1, 2. I can easily see that.
Man, Dallas are coming close, man, but
not close
nearly
enough.
Scored.
I gotta get out of this thing, Morency. I need money. Hey.
Well, you got time to figure it out now.
Yeah, now I do.